As usual, we will start with the national anthem, followed by prayer and introductions so that you may know your leaders. Shall we stand up and sing the national anthem? Don't do that. I'll tell you. Those with beautiful voices, Mkwayira Samu.
Stand and sing, O Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We've won freedom's fight, oh, one strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace needs Zambia's sky. Like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us all our people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great nation, Zambia, Zambia. Free men we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one strong and free.
Apostle Pule will give us the opening prayer.
Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for your grace. Lord, we pray for grace for our nation, for grace for all of us as leaders in this nation. We ask you, Lord, to be with us as today we address the nation. Bless those who will be speaking and guide us. We submit this meeting in your hands and ask you for protection and wisdom and strength. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. We may take our seats. Members of the press, just to make sure that we're on the same page, and if we skip one important topic, you may raise it by way of question. We will start with the introductions of new members. Our chair of Uka will combine his opening remarks with the introduction of new members. That will be followed by weaponizing of the police, and those things will be taken by various speakers, and then we're going to tackle tribalism in the management of national affairs, and we'll lastly talk about the failure by the UPND government to manage the fundamentals that provide or underwrite the resilience of our economy. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Mwauka Wonse. Thank you very much for coming over to our press conference, and we're going to ensure that we do not keep you unnecessarily long. We'll be to the point in terms of what we are going to be delivering to you. The first order of business is for me to be able to introduce new members that we do have who have joined the United Kwacha Alliance. The United Kwacha Alliance, as you can see, is an alliance which keeps on growing. It keeps on growing because it has touched the hearts and minds of everybody in Zambia, all well-meaning people in Zambia. And you are seeing more and more parties deciding to come and join us. Today I'll be introducing one party, but that is not the only party that has expressed interest in joining the United Kwacha Alliance. As we speak now, we are talking to various parties and seeing and confirming whether we truly are on the same page with them before we formally actually announce that they have joined the United Kwacha Alliance. So your alliance is a growing alliance, it's a strong alliance, it's an alliance that brings you hope for the future, an alliance which will change the lives of the Zambian people. Joining us in doing that is a party which is very new, called the New Era Democratic Party. The New Era Democratic Party was registered in December of last year, and they have decided that they would like to be part of the United Kwacha Alliance. We have had various sessions with them, and we have identified that, yes, indeed, we are of the same mind as them, and therefore, it would only make sense that we work together. The president of the New Era Democratic Party is currently not in the country. She is in the United States. But however, her vice president is here, and she is the one who's going to represent the New Era Democratic Party at this meeting, and who will also speak to you about themselves and also as to the reasons why they've joined the United Kwacha Alliance. I'll therefore call upon Ms. Exilda Mwenya to come to the microphones in order to be able to address the gathering.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the New Era Democratic Party, I am deeply honored and grateful to accept our admission into this esteemed alliance. We extend our heartfelt thanks to each member for your trust and confidence in welcoming us on board. This alliance stands as a beacon of collaboration and unity, and we are looking forward to contribute our knowledge and effort in furthering our shared goals. We are committed to upholding the values and standards that define this alliance and look forward to fostering meaningful partnerships. Thank you once more for this partnership. Together we can achieve great things. I thank you.
Perhaps you could let the people know who the president is, yourself, and the Secretary General, etc.
At this point in time, I would like to address this meeting. Our president, Madam Pumulo Situmbeko, is our president, currently in the United States, but will be joining us not too long from now. We have our Secretary General today with us, who will elaborate on who New Era Democratic Party is. The Secretary General.
All protocol observed, Your Excellency, the former Republican President, 6th President of this country, Party President present. My job is very simple. I just want to shed more light on a New Era and why we are here today. So like we've heard, New Era was formed on the 22nd of December 2023, last year. One thing that we believe in is that Zambia can only be liberated when people unite. because united we stand and divided we fall. Our logo, I wish I could share it with you. We have a chain inside our logo which symbolizes unity. So we believe that united like this, all these minds here, is what is going to liberate the nation of Zambia. So we strongly believe in unity. We strongly believe in advocating togetherness as one way that we are going to liberate this country. Today we are faced with so many challenges. The nation has been taken behind, almost 10 steps behind. So we feel the only way we can bring back the nation is to join hands with everyone who means well for the nation of Zambia. So for us, our interest is to see that the Zambian people are liberated from the current hardships, the current challenges, the current difficulties that we've been able to see. So without the voices of everyone, our being here today, we are simply calling the entire nation of Zambia to rally behind with us. The only way we can remove this government that has taken us 10 steps behind as a nation is to join forces, to join hands. Nothing else, nothing personal. It's all about Zambia. Like we always say, as New Era, we believe that the future of this nation is crying for help, and we can only liberate it and save it if we are united. This nation does not belong to anyone. For us as New Era, we feel Zambia belongs to our children's children. Imagine if we don't join hands to fight the fuel at 35 kwacha, to fight the minimum at 400, to fight the 15 hours of load shedding, we will not leave a future for our children. We are here to fight for our generation. We are here to fight for democracy. We are New Era Democratic Party. We believe in the democratic dispensation of this country. So we will not let this country go back 10 steps because of one person, because of a clique of individuals who do not mean well for this country. So we are speaking to the Zambian people today as New Era. Please join forces with us to save this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can see the vibrancy that is coming into your United Kwacha Alliance. That is what is going to make us grow stronger and stronger. I'm sure, having heard the two, you've got no doubt as to the quality and the commitment and zeal of those who are strengthening us. Before we go to the program as stated by the Master of Ceremonies, I would like to invite our coordinator to say some words.
Should I? Let's just swap because
Okay, you're at the center.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everyone. I've only got 3 voices saying good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. I'll ride on the protocols that have been observed. I would like to talk about the issue of the police and also the clergy. We are sure that you have noted the assault by this UPND government on the church through its police service, which have now started calling the police force. We have also seen that the rights of individuals are being infringed upon by law enforcement agents. For example, you saw the lady on the copper belt, the lady and other people who were selling mealie meal on the copper belt, and a very senior Zambia National Service officer went there to confiscate the mealie meal. Now, don't forget that Zambia is a free market economy, and that lady and the people around there were not breaking any law. The Zambia National Service senior person did not state what's wrong or what law those people broke, but they went ahead and confiscated that mealie meal. Our message as United Kwacha Alliance to those law enforcement officers, the police officers, wherever they are, who have continued to break the law, presumably because they want to keep their jobs, is very simple. We've only got about 2 years to the elections. And don't forget that this is a one-term government. When you break the law, that same law will visit you when the government changes. That same law is what will be applied to you, the law that you are breaking. You need to bear in mind, and I'm speaking to all the police officers, wherever you are in this country, you need to bear in mind the fact that we do have a constitution, and when you break that constitution, you are breaking the law. So when the government changes, you will lose your job and you will lose your benefits because you have infracted the law. So let this be a warning to you. You are trying to save your jobs, but you may just find that you are going to lose your jobs because of your actions. This onslaught on the church has really mounted. We have seen so many men of the cloth being called by the police. Our message to the men of the cloth is, do not fear those that can only harm your body, but cannot harm your soul. Do what is right. Stand on your rights and don't cower before these police officers. Respond to them. Was the case yesterday. We saw the case in Kasanda, in Kabwe, where that priest responded to the police appropriately. So don't be afraid to answer the police because they are not standing on firm ground. So that is just a message that we wanted to send to the police officers. Thank you.
I think you have heard from President Kateka that the Zambia Police Service is evolving, and in fact she now thinks that they've graduated to being Zambia Police Force rather than service. But I'd like to let you know that they are moving at extremely fast speed, and in my mind they've graduated not from Zambia Police Service to Zambia Police Force, but to Zambia Gestapo Police. Now, would like to thank Bishop Mulenga, who, as the coordinator stated, dealt so professionally with that policeman and made it quite clear to the Zambian people that the level of intolerance which is there is really very sad. To think that you can go into the house of the Lord and intimidate people reminds us of how this government has no respect for the church. No wonder they do not believe in the National Day of Prayer. I believe you have not seen President Hakainde at any one of the national days of prayer. No wonder the first ministry that he decided he was going to do away with when he was forming cabinet was the Ministry of Religious Affairs. At the time, we were not putting the knots together. But now, with what he is doing with the police, summoning priests, going and stopping people from going to churches, it now becomes clear. The thread is now tying a knot, showing that this government has got no regard for religion, no regard for the church. No wonder they can call even bishops to be Lucifers. And there is no apology which comes from them for calling their lordships Lucifers. If indeed they did have respect for the church, President Hakainde would have withdrawn those statements and publicly apologized. Until he does so, it will keep on confirming his dislike for the church. We talked about the harassment which was there yesterday, and I would like to ask President Chanda to just simply give you an idea of what exactly happened and the extent of intimidation there was on the part of the police. And I must give a warning to all of you. The details he's about to give you are spine-chilling. President Chanda.
Thank you very much. I acknowledge the presence of His Excellency, the 60th President. I acknowledge the presence of all the presidents. Let me say all protocols observed. I want to state that it was sad to see the police coming to barge into the bishop's office. At first, we saw them in town. They were all over town. And the information that we got is that they mounted up police officers from Lusaka up to Chingola. And in certain areas, cadres had stopped, especially in the market areas where they would feel that maybe we may be able to stop by there. The former head of state would want to buy some fruits or whatever. They made sure that they had put cadres together with the police in all the points.
Which cadres?
UPND cadres.
Very good.
The situation was bad in Kabwe. The whole Kabwe town had police presence all over. On top of that, they had the police vehicle with guns following us wherever we went. They saw we entered the church. We thought, okay, maybe they'll carry on. What did we see? Whilst His Excellency was paying a cater score on the bishop, we just saw somebody barging in, chief inspector, whatever. I'm sure all of you saw. Chief Inspector Mapande, no, I've come to tell you, Bishop, that you are not supposed to have a meeting here with this man, pointing at our president here. It was really a shameful moment, and this guy was there shivering. I tell you, I want to just give a warning to the Inspector General of Police. Number one, whatever you are doing, you are appointing authority to break the law. He's abrogating the Constitution. His duty, when you look at the duties of the president, is that he's supposed to promote democracy. But democracy at the moment is under siege. We are now in a police state. You know, when the head of state, the former head of state, made a statement to say we are in a police state, I thought it was just a joke or maybe just a statement. But yesterday we proved that. The police coming to harass the bishop, and they persisted to say, no, you should not have this meeting. And the bishop stood his ground. From there we moved from the office, we went into the conference room. The police were still there until when we came out and the 6th Republican president put that police in his place. Do you want us to go at the police? I said, no. But why are you following us? No, we are not following. Okay, go. Still, they are not know until when you go. We decided to return back to Lusaka. On our way back, Kandals also charged up, chasing us. Our lives and the life of the 6th president was at a risk, because these guys were even overtaking and others. But unfortunately, Kairi, in Sarayari, in Tabako, to few twin. Very Jimba. President Hakainde, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I want to state this. What happened yesterday is an embarrassment to the Democrats, and I want the international community not to be silent on this matter.
especially the West.
Especially Woody.
Those from the Western side where they say he's in the Champion Leagues now. You people from the Champion League, this country is a democratic state where we have the freedom of expression, freedom of movement. All citizens, including the former president, has the right to stop anywhere. So meaning that today tuli na bena tatufika kwa imina pali ponso orokushita menshi orokushita kufia mafuti. They want us to be just confined. We want to state that Zambia and Zambians, we should all be awake. Come 2026, let's be able to put this man in his place.
That's right.
It's a shame, Chair. I want to state that the Zambian people have the right to call for an early election, and I think it's long overdue. Thank you.
Thank you very much. President Chanda, in fact, left out one bit which he had briefed me on. They arrived at one of the roadblocks, and there were policemen there. And a few meters away from behind the policemen were these cadres with piles of rocks which were there. The police were clearly seeing them, but were allowing them to be there. Luckily, they went through very quickly, but evidently what was planned is that those cadres were going to stone the vehicles. The question is, why were the police, who could clearly see this, not doing something about that? It shows you that Rafael Musamba, when he talks about junkies in the police, these are the junkies he's talking about. Those are the ones who are the junkie police. Still on the question of the police, we have seen how they've been harassing our colleagues in the New Heritage Party in terms of the rally that they are going to be having on the 1st of June this year. For the very first time in Zambia's history, when notification is given to the police by a political party to have a rally, they started asking for the registration certificates and so on.
Original.
And not copies, but insisting we want to see the original. That has never happened before, and this should be the last time they ever attempt to do that to any political party or any organization. They even went further to now start demanding to know who the speakers will be at the rally. Again, this is unprecedented. We are now worried that the next thing they'll ask for is to see the speeches before they can be delivered. That is the trend in which we are going. That's why earlier on I said it seems as if we are going towards a Gestapo police in Zambia. Those are the reasons why I say that. It was not a joke. It is something that we must fight against. Musamba should not be allowed to set up a Gestapo unit. Having said that, I'll hand back to the Master of Ceremonies.
Perhaps you may wish to update the nation on the issue of our registration, which is being frustrated right, left, and center.
Thank you very much. With regards to the registration, as you all know, there are two entities that we wish to register. That is the United Kwacha Alliance, which is the umbrella body under which we all fall. There is also Uka as a party that is being floated, so that come the elections, that is the party under which we will put up candidates. Candidates right from the wards, that is councillors, right up to the president. And these applications have been put to the authorities, but they are so afraid of the United Kwacha Alliance, so afraid of Uka, that they are putting very unnecessary roadblocks. For example, with the United Kwacha Alliance, we are now at the stage where we've been waiting for the last 2 months for the police merely to clear the fingerprints. That is the stage at which we are.
Shame.
It is only after the police have cleared the fingerprints and endorsed on the United Kwacha Alliance application certificate, application form, that we can take them to the registrar of societies.
And they did that for Miles Sampa overnight. Yeah?
And they did that for Miles Sampa, not overnight, not overnight. They did it in minutes.
Thank you for correction. To still
on a public holiday, in the middle of the night, in minutes. But with us, 2 months, they're still holding on. And they come and tell people that, United Kwacha Alliance is not serious. United Kwacha Alliance does not want to register itself. We can only register when they release back those forms to us, because those are the ones you take for the registration. They have not given us any reason why for the last 2 months they are sitting on those forms. If they find that Sakuba Squatter has got a criminal record that he stole from a shop somewhere years ago, they should tell us that, no, we're not giving you these back because Sakuba Squatter stole money at such and such a place. Can you replace Sakuba Squatter? That is what they should do, not merely sit on the documents and say nothing. With Uka as a party, we have made an application, and at first they said Ukani can be registered, also Arise can be registered. When we wanted to take the next step, all of a sudden a phone call came. It's as if somebody at the registrar's office said, no, you cannot allow them. And said, no, those clearances we told you you have, those names are not available. You cannot register. We asked them, why are they not available? And they gave no answer. We put it in writing to ask, why have you refused? Can you give us in writing the reasons? We had to do that because when the registrar makes any decision, you've got a right to appeal. The right of appeal goes to the Minister of Home Affairs. But if you don't have anything given back to you in writing, you cannot lodge that appeal. So they're playing a game of simply holding back. My challenge to them is, give us the reasons, whatever the reasons are. No matter how ridiculous the reasons are, give them to us so that we can appeal to the Minister of Home Affairs. We know that the Minister of Home Affairs is going to not look at our appeal favorably. We know that because he has been making statements with regards to the United Kwacha Alliance and with regards to Uka. So naturally, he's already got a biased mind. But we will still go through that process because we cannot go to court if we haven't exhausted the administrative processes. So we'll go to Honorable Jack Mwimbu. Honorable Jack Mwimbu has already shown, as I said, through various statements, that he's not going to deal with it in a fair manner. He's already prejudiced. And then we'll go to court. This is not the only issue that we are taking to court. We're instructing our lawyers to commence, even for the United Kwacha Alliance, an action to compel the police, to compel Grafiel Musamba to give us the results of the fingerprint searches they've done on the officials we put forward. They should not play these games. They should just be honest. I know you're afraid of us. But whether you play these games or not, you're still going to face us. Because our plan B is that if they keep on playing these games and we go to court and this matter takes long in court, any one of the parties we have here will be the one which will adopt to say United Kwacha Alliance is going to put up candidates under such and such a party. So these games will not get them anywhere. And perhaps they don't realize that, in fact, by playing these games, they are getting us to have a lot of sympathy from the general public, because the general public are seeing that this is unjust, and a lot of people are asking, why are they so afraid of Uka? Why, Uka must have something that they are offering for them to be so afraid of Uka. And to answer you, the Zambian people, yes, Zambia has got something to gain from Uka. And I would also like to state that in terms of the name Uka, the name cannot be stopped. It would be like us trying to go and stop the use of the name Badi. You know, they go around, Badi will fix it, Badi will fix it, and so forth. Badi has never been registered. It doesn't need to be registered. It's being used.
UPND Alliance.
UPND Alliance. It has never been registered. It's being used. Not only being used, but even when you have national affairs, they will even appear on official programs. UPND Alliance partners. They will even have chairman and so on. By the way, they even wrote us a threatening letter a few months back, a silly threatening letter. And we told them that, no, we don't even want to bother answering you. And they never carried out their threats. They went away. But that's a story for another day. So in terms of Uka, whether registered or not, it shall be used, just like Bali is used, just like UPND Alliance is used. And it is in the hearts of all the Zambians. You cannot take it out of the hearts of Zambians. Yeah. So Uka is unstoppable.
Correct. Uka!
You've also got them out there putting out things saying that, especially through diggers and so on and other media. Oh, the master as well. That we are cowards. I would like to tell you that this coward here was arrested in Kafue. And you cannot say that what he did, walking into a field where there were policemen all over, with heavily armed, is cowardice. That is not cowardice. You cannot say that what President Chanda and 6th Republican President, His Excellency ECL, went through yesterday is cowardice. You cannot say that what will happen on 1st June 2024 in Mandevu is cowardice. All those who think that there is cowardice, come tomorrow to the church service and pray for us. So let me hand back again to the Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you very much, Chair. At this point, I'd like to call upon President Apostle Pule to speak about something that is dividing us as a nation. I think you heard President Chanda talk about taking us 10 steps behind. In terms of years, it's actually 60 years behind, because at that time, anyone could stand anywhere. I remember Humphrey Mlemba Kaonde was MP for Chipata, and his Lotawina was MP for Chidelabombwe. Today, it can't happen. President Apostle.
Mr. Chairman, allow me to acknowledge His Excellency, the 6th President of Zambia, President Edgar Lungu, best known to us as ECL. I acknowledge you, fellow presidents and leaders at different levels of political party. I can see Zayelo at the back. Hi there, Zayelo. That's the Vice President of the PF, Mr. Honorable Lubinda. Firstly, before I even talk about what he referred to, what is dividing us, which obviously is tribalism, I want to echo the words that have been spoken about the shrinking democratic space in Zambia. I'd like to talk about the fact that Zambia, sadly, is become a police state. Some of you think we are not yet a police state. That is what is happening. What was demonstrated yesterday in Kabwe is a clear demonstration of what a police state should do. The assault on His Excellency by who just went to pay a courtesy call on Bishop Mlenga of the Catholic Church, a very well-known church, registered, and many of us have passed through that church. Just to go and greet him became an offense. And that policeman sent by, not even Musamba, is by HH, our president, to go and impinge, to go and attack the president's rights of association, of assembly, of expression. That's not acceptable, fellow Zambians. That's not acceptable. I will call upon the church to take note of what is going on. I will call upon you Zambians to take note of what's going on. But I want to warn President Hakainde, you promised the Zambians that you are going to make sure that this country enjoys democracy. No wonder he has not yet allowed the repeal of the Public Order Act. That is what he promised, because it's using it to assault the former president. It's using it to assault other Zambians. This has to be condemned, fellow Zambians, in no uncertain terms. We want to encourage Your Excellency. The Lord is with you. And if the Lord is with you, who can be against you? I believe the multitude of Zambians are with you. The reason he's doing this is because he's afraid of you. We support you, we are with you in Uka and in our Christian Democratic Party, and all well-meaning Zambians should support you. Thank you so much on that point. Now, all of us are aware that President Hakainde has been instrumental in dividing this country. You may be aware of the fact that this country is divided between there's a special section of the country called the Zambezi region, southern, western, and northwestern provinces of Zambia. Most of the key political appointments have come from that region. But now, when you go further as to what is happening in the public service, in the parastatals, he has even ignored the other two provinces, western and northwestern. The focus, if you follow what's going on, is that it's appointing only Tongas to fill those positions. Some of you are not aware of the fact that even headmasters are being removed, police officers are being removed to be replaced by those from Southern Province. This is not acceptable. This is not the Zambia we want. I believe that, ubufiwayo kateka wesubafya sana. I'd still promise ukutila all appointments will be across the board. I believe all of you have seen for yourselves what is going on. This is not acceptable. I was recently in Chienge, and do you know who is the council secretary in Chienge is? A man from Southern Province. I won't mention his name, but it begins with ha. And that has become common. But this is not good for Zambia. I want to, before I hand over, I had very few minutes to speak, mention especially our Western partners in development, the stakeholders, and particularly the British High Commissioner. His name is His Excellency Woolley. What happened yesterday, Mr. Woolley, is that democracy? I believe that the statement he made about democracy being so good in Zambia must have embarrassed the British government, because if they see what is going on here, where the former head of state cannot democratically go and pay a courtesy on a church leader, an important church leader, and they can send a police officer to go. He didn't even knock. President Chanda was saying he bashed, he didn't knock. He just forced himself in there, shaking and demanding to close that meeting, which was not even a meeting, it was a courtesy call. We saw it live on Facebook. Mr. Woolley, you are a disgrace to democracy. You don't support the democracy in Zambia. And I'm glad that I've heard he's leaving. The reason he's leaving, Zambia is, he knows his prime minister is going to be defeated. I like the conservatives. They are my friends, but Mr. Woolley, what you are doing here. And by the way, you are seeing him wherever President Hakainde goes to open a mine or visit a mine. Mr. Woolley is there. Maybe they are business partners. Maybe that's why I understand he wants to remain in the country even after his tenure of office. Just remember, come 2026, your friend is not going to be in State House. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Archbishop President Pule talked about what happened to His Excellency the President. Although everything that happened was extremely sad, there's one aspect which made me actually laugh and even have tears roll down my face. That is when His Excellency was asking him, so you want me to go? Where should I go? And then the officer says, you should go there where you are going. I couldn't believe. SG.
All right, thank you very much. I know that it's Saturday and we are itching to ask the questions and go about spending time with your families. Last but not the least, the topic we are going to cover is with regards to the economy, the destroyed fundamentals, the misplaced fiscal policies that have now made the Bank of Zambia, exposed the Bank of Zambia's incompetence to counter fiscal policy measures. And this will be spoken to by President Jackson Slavwe. I like in our team, Bonsa Twaleka Group 1. In the UPND, there's only one man who used to be in Group 1, the rest are Group 3. That's why you can't even find the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jackson Slavwe.
Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize the presence of the 6th Republican President of Zambia, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I'd like to recognize the United Kwacha Alliance Chairperson, State Council Sakwiba Skota, all the political party presidents represented here, the new members. Allow me to welcome those that were introduced when we were arrested in Kafue, President Hector Songdo of UBZ, President Peter Chanda of NCP, President Wright Musoma of ZRP, as well as the new entrant to the alliance, the New Era Democracy, President Pomolo Stumbeko, who is not here with us, but ably represented by the Vice President and indeed the Secretary General. This press conference or press briefing will be incomplete if we don't attend to matters that are on everybody's mind. Yesterday, after our meeting, Chairperson went back home. There was no power. My phone switched off. My laptop switched off. I had to rush here very early in the morning to complete the work. Unfortunately, when I came in, there was no power. I just want to say that it's a Uka Press. We Nazau come 2026 without instruments of power. We need to make that very clear. And the Zambian people are suffering. The Zambian people are complaining. The country is groaning. And we need to speak to these issues. And so I'd like to speak on the effects of the monetary policy rate, MPR, on the cost of living, as well as doing business. As we all know, the Bank of Zambia Monetary Policy Committee, at its meeting held on 13th to 14th, 2024, May 2024, decided to increase the monetary policy rate, MPR, by 100 basis points to 13% from 12.5%. The nation may wish to know that this is the sixth time policy increase of MPR in 12 months. This is unprecedented, bearing in mind the negative effects on ordinary Zambians and local business. Shame. By definition, the monetary policy is the control of the quantity of money available in an economy and the channels by which new money is supplied. The Bank of Zambia has been undertaking these hikes in a bid to bring inflation down to their targeted single-digit inflation below 8%. It is a fact that the Bank of Zambia contractionary policy increase interest rates and limits the money supply and slows the economy, just in a bid to decrease inflation. What are the effects of the increased MPR on ordinary citizens, local Zambian businesses, and indeed our economy? It is worth noting that Zambians are already experiencing the devastation of the increased monetary policy rate since President Hakainde Hichilema and his New Dawn administration took over the reins of government in 2021. Number one, there is less money in circulation or the market. It has become more difficult for individuals to find and spend money. If you are running a small business in Zambia, you'll agree to this point. Secondly, prices of goods and services such as meal, fuel or transport, of just general basic essentials have risen. We have seen many photos on social media of meal hitting 400 kwacha and beyond in some places, beyond the affordability of many Zambians in our country. This makes the majority poor Zambians across the country to not afford the basics that have alighted. Number three, raising the MPR reduces the purchasing power of money. Not too long ago, when the sixth president was president of the Republic of Zambia, Your Excellency, 100 kwacha worth 100 kwacha was buying over 5 liters. Now it is buying 3 liters of petrol. Those are the effects. Two liters actually have been corrected. 2 liters. Number 4, low business sales for local businesses. If you go to the markets, you go to Soweto, you go to Chisekone, they will tell you, the marketeers, that the sales have gone down. Vendors will tell you the same things. Those who are running salons and barber shops will tell you the same thing. The tailors, the designers, the carpenters, the welders, the bus drivers, traders, and those who are running to timbers all over the country, including the Chinese also, they will tell you the same thing, that the sales have gone down. Some have closed shop, some are in the process of closing shop. Some businesses are now streamlining the number of employees they can employ by firing some of them. The effects of the monetary policy rate perpetuated by President Hakainde Hichilema and his administration, the so-called Champions League. The increase in the MPR leads to higher borrowing costs for business and individuals, and invariably slows down economic activity. Increased cost of credit, making loans more expensive for consumers, individuals and businesses. I think for those of you who have got loans, by Monday, you'll be able to receive a text from your bank that your interest on that loan has gone up due to the increase in the MPR. Higher interest rates can deter investment as the cost of borrowing rises. Businesses postponed or scaled back investment projects, including expansion plans, reducing capital expenditure and potentially slowing economic growth in the medium and long term. Why does the Bank of Zambia boss insist on raising the MPR when it is clearly hurting Zambians and the economy? Why, one may wonder. As stated, this is the 6th such intervention in the last 12 months by the Bank of Zambia. The questions that we have as the United Kwacha Alliance to the Bank of Zambia governor is, have the previous interventions of raising the same MPR achieved the desired results? If not, why are you continuing to do so? What is the motive of raising the MPR in a small economy like Zambia? It is clear to us in the United Kwacha Alliance that the economic script of our country is not being written by President Hakainde Hichilema and his government. And I want to repeat that. It is clear to us that the economic script of our country, Zambia, is not being written by President Hakainde Hichilema as well as his government. It is clear that the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and President Hakainde Hichilema's foreign friends, whom he proudly boasted about, who we know are frequenting State House every time, they are the ones doing that.
Community House.
And Community House. President Hichilema's economic policies lack a human face, reminiscent of the structural adjustment programs of the 90s that took away jobs from our people and packed unemployment in our country, sold off state assets that Zambians and Dr. Kaunda fought for hardly, and we see that happening in this dispensation. Thus, for some of you may not know, this is privatization plus or reloaded or on steroids. President Hichilema and his government live in a make-believe world. They exaggerate their success even when our people are on the verge of starvation. They overinflate their economic success. This can only be said that they want to feed their ego, to project to the world that they are doing fine, when in fact they are not doing fine. I wish to call President Hakainde Hichilema to order, to come back to reality, come back to the local league, because our people are suffering locally. The marketeers at Sokone are suffering. So come back to the local league. Because when you come to the local league, you will find Maite Mufila Wanzas. You will find Bankanda, Bakalampa. You will find Bakabu Warriors. That is where you find the real people who are suffering in Zambia. Stop doing textbook economics and come and see the real reality that the Zambians are experiencing. For us in the United Kwacha Alliance, as part of the solutions, we are appealing to the New Dawn administration that, bearing this depressed state of our economy, it would be more prudent to loosen the parameters and allow inflation to go beyond the targeted 6 to 8%, other than just pleasing your friends in the West. Let people trade. Let that vendor who is selling apples at City Market be able to knock off and afford a bag of millimit. Let that welder get more clients to come to them and do the welding instead of people saving. Because when you have a high cost of living, people stop spending on other essentials. They begin to concentrate on just food, which is already expensive. So we are saying they are actually economies that have grown with 20 to 40% inflation. We need to stop this business of pleasing President Hakainde Hichilema's friends. That's what he said of Madam Georgieva, that she is my friend. So we should stop this business of pleasing President Hakainde Hichilema's friends. Zambia is already a small economy, with more than 60% of its citizens living below the poverty datum line of $1 or $2 per day. Why subject your own people through hardships again? For us, we say, let the economy play on its own. Flood the economy with money, the Arabic economics. Let citizens be able to fend for themselves. Stop treating anyone who did business in the patriotic front regime as a thief, and pay the local suppliers, because they are the ones who replenish the local supplies of money. We are saying to President Hakainde Hichilema, lower the interest rates. This will result in reduced cost of capital, which in turn will provide a more conducive economic environment, which will in turn allow economic to grow. It's better for people to do business than for people to not do anything and resort to all sorts of crimes that we are currently witnessing in our country. Lower the cost of doing business. You cannot only lower the cost of doing business for your friends in mining and tourism as you have done by giving them concessions. Give incentives to local businesses so they can be able to produce more, they can be able to expand and employ more and make a dent on unemployment and poverty. Expand the private sector through radical economic policies. Do away with outrageous tax holidays given to mining companies and multinational corporations operating in the country. And I would love to commend His Excellency, the 6th Republican President, that when we said that we could run our minds, you listened to us and you begin to move in that direction. There is no need for us to go to the IMF at the moment. We can pay through using KCM, only KCM as an asset. Does it make sense that we give back KCM to Vendetta, who've never paid anything to this country, and yet the same Vendetta goes to the markets and gets money, a loan, 1.2 billion if I'm not mistaken, using the same KCM? Shame.
Shame.
We need to be ashamed of ourselves, especially for those who are running government and claiming themselves that they're the smartest people that the earth has ever seen.
Economists.
And yet they cannot run KCM. Then where is your smartness? Where is your intelligence? Does it just end in showing us graphs on TV how the economy is doing and not performing?
He's building toilets. Eh?
We need, and of course the toilets. President Wright Musoma said that. Modern economies, as I conclude, modern economies, colleagues and fellow Zambians, grow by spending and not what they are doing through the Bank of Zambia. Citizens have to spend. Households need to spend. Businesses need to spend. Because when they spend, economic activity increases in the market. A vendor will be able to get money as they sell their commodity. Now they are taxing Facebook, adverts. They are taxing all these kinds of things. What kind of a government is this? For us, in the United Kwacha Alliance, we are clear. Colleagues, with all due respect, mumuchinshi na mufigwa. Tupeniko spesi. You have failed to run the affairs of our people. Amano na yapela. And we are here to help you. Twala miafwa. Twala miafwa sana fi. By New Dawn administration. Na UPND Alliance. Twala miafwa. We shall help you to ensure that we liberate our people. And we repeat our call. Midole na 2026. We need to call for early elections. Yes. President Ichirema should call for early elections. His mandate has been eroded by the suffering of many Zambians. When a Zambian cannot afford to eat, to have 3 meals, when they go to bed hungry, when they have to resort to violence or criminality for them to fend for themselves and their family, then the mandate of that government is already eroded. And the option is for them to call for early elections. Stop this nonsense of harassing priests who are just doing their responsibility, barging into people's offices, arresting us. That won't lower the cost of living. What will lower the cost of living is to respond to the needs of the Zambian people, not the needs of your friends in Washington, not the needs of your friends in Dubai, not the needs of your friends in South Africa. Look to the Zambian people and attend to them. I thank you.
Thank you very much. You heard for yourselves that we have an expatriate president in State House. He should apply for Zambian citizenship and start saving our interests. I will now come to the last part, and that's the question time. We'll start with ladies. They've done very well in asking probing questions, which is exposing, especially the Bank of Zambia. You indicate your hand, tell us, introduce yourself and the media house you come from, and then pose your questions. And all the questions will be directed to the chairman, and if he feels that another member can tackle it, then he'll pass it on. You're so handsome. Are you a lady? Any lady first? Okay, fine. Let's get the persistent man there.
Good morning, Father of the Nation. Good morning, President of the Parties.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
President Peter Chanda, I recognize you. My name is Meshek. As I'm a journalist, but I'm going to pose a question as a concerned citizen. From my observation research, I've concluded that...
Which mining house? Which media house do you come from?
Central Voice.
Central?
Voice.
Okay.
Yes, as I'm saying, according to my observation research, I've concluded that you don't need a rocket scientist to conclude that democracy as a governance system has failed to develop Africa, and Zambia is not an exception. My question is, maybe the father of a nation, being a former head of state, can help justifying how democracy can bring development. Why are we still holding on to a governance system that cannot bring development? Because I feel when the colonial masters were designing democracy to be our governance system, they included 2 components which cannot bring unity. You always, in democracy, you always have the opposition and the ruling, and as such, the status quo makes it possible for people to unite. Because there's always division. There's opposing and the one ruling. So where is the justification that democracy can help to bring development in Africa as well as in Zambia? And the last question that I have is this. God has blessed Zambia with a lot of wealthy mineral resources. And recently it was discovered that we have gold. So the question is, don't we have capacity or don't we have people in Zambia that can run the mines? Why are we, from time immemorial, why is that foreigners are the ones that are reaping maximum benefits from our wealth-given resources, and now we have gold? Don't we have the capacity as a nation to run a gold mine besides other minerals?
All right, thank you very much. Yes?
Good morning. My name is Martin Malazuka from Pocket. My question, I just want to find out, I know that we have about 2 years before the 2026 general election. So when are you likely to unveil the Uka party manifesto? And then my other question, maybe this one, the 60th president can take this one. One of your own was sentenced to prison yesterday, 18 months. I just want to get your thoughts. What could be your reaction with regards to his, sentencing to prison? Thank you so much.
The third one? Yes.
My question is, I wanted to get your reaction. I think the whole lot of you, I don't know which way to respond. August Mwalite described you as a bunch of comedians who Zambians cannot even listen to and then it can't give you a mandate. So I want to get your reaction as far as that's concerned. Apart from that, the Secretary General of the UPND yesterday was meeting with PCZ. And they're saying to say they are meeting different political parties. It has been said to say there's been integrity in terms of the ECZ. It has been in the Champions League, I would say. It has been going to the Champions League. I don't know what to make of that situation.
Which party?
I know various by-elections that you participated. I know Gordon Silava.
No, Jackson Silava, not Gordon. Get the name right.
I would want to get your reaction to the ECZ saying to say their integrity has been raised and of course even themselves are praising themselves. And to that effect, ECZ, do you think Uka is really going to be registered and of course participate in the 2026 general elections coming in 2026?
Thank you very much. Chair?
Thank you. With regards to Mishek's first question about how can democracy bring development, why is it not bringing in development, I'll ask President Musoma to address that one.
Thank you very much, Chair. To the contrary, Mishek and those of you who have a similar way of thinking, democracy brings development.
Let me just hold on a while.
What is democracy? Democracy is about competition. Yeah? I'll give you an example. When President Sata became president, he did a lot of wonders. When President Lungu took over, he had to go again out of his way and make sure that we had a lot of hospitals, a lot of new airports, hydropower station, universities, clinics, acro bridges, thousands of acro bridges across the country. Okay? Today, HH is able to employ, to boast of having employed thousands of teachers and thousands of healthy workers because somebody built a lot of hospitals and clinics across the country, and because somebody also built for him a lot of schools and universities. So democracy, to the contrary, brings about development. Yeah, that is my position. Thank you.
We shall support democracy.
So we shall support democracy, and we are for democracy as the United Kwacha Alliance.
Thank you.
On the second question from Nishek regarding the mineral resources and whether Zambians can run the mines, I'll ask President Kateka to answer that.
Thank you so much, Chair. What we need to realize is that with regard to our mines, our mineral resources, we are coming from the colonial times when we had the British who designed everything to extract wealth from this nation. Unfortunately, after independence, we didn't bother to change the model of mining that we have, we've adopted what we found and did not bother to change it. And as a result of that, we have continued to lose quite a lot. I could talk on this for, the whole day, so I'll limit myself to the question. When we have a lot of Zambians who are very well qualified. Some of them went abroad to study, some of them studied at the University of Zambia. But you'll find that when you have a Zambian and an expatriate with the same qualification, the expatriate will be paid more. So our Zambians are just as qualified as other people to be able to run the mines. But unfortunately, we seem to put down our own people and decide that we can't do this. So one of the things that we believe that we need to do is to change the model of mining to one that will benefit this nation. We have very capable people. When expatriates come into Zambia, they are actually taught how to do the mining properly by the Zambians. And yet, at the end of the day, it's the expatriates who begin to run our mines. We have this issue of looking down on ourselves and thinking that we are incapable. Now, unless and until we change the model of mining that we undertake, and we allow our own people to take charge of our mining, we are going to continue losing wealth continuously. So this is one of the things that we as United Kwacha Alliance will be looking at, rather than just allowing people to come in and run our mines. We are well able. Number two, the gold mines that we are talking about. The wealth that we have is capable of taking us out of even this debt that we are going to the IMF for. But then because certain people helped us to get into government, we allow them to keep those mines, and we even take the taxes away so that they don't need to pay taxes. So as United Kwacha Alliance, those are the issues that we are going to address so that Zambians begin to benefit, the children and their children's children to benefit from the resources that God has given us. Thank you.
Perhaps I'll ask you as well to take on Matthew's Hot FM on the question of the manifesto.
That was a very good question. The manifesto is something that we are working on. We have no intentions of getting into government and then taking 3-4 months before we begin to put our plans in place. So our plan is to have this manifesto ready well before the elections, and we shall be able to share it well before the elections. And once we get into government, we'll hit the ground running. The economy is so messed up that we cannot afford to do it any other way. So this is something that we are currently working on, even as we speak.
Maybe we can add that manifestos.
Go ahead and do it directly.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Chair. Perhaps also to add on to what President Kateka has said, we have already collected all the manifestos for all the Uka Alliance political parties, all of them, and we've engaged the team to work on that. Now, as you know, just in the last 30 days, we've received 5 political parties, if I'm not mistaken, who've joined the last 30 days. 5. So obviously, we would need also to take into consideration these that have come on board. So I think that is what is delaying the announcing of the manifesto. But be rest assured that that will be done, as President Shalagateka said. It's okay, Chair.
I hope I'm not going to be charged with malicious damage.
Please, Brian.
Thank you. Matthews from Hot FM also asked about Secretary General Nakachinda's conviction and sentencing to 18 months yesterday. Naturally, we are saddened by that development, quite naturally. And we are going to be definitely going over to see him and to give him support and to tell him to stay strong. One of the things that came to my mind is President Hakainde stated very strongly, and his Minister of Justice, about how they felt that the offense of defamation of the president was not a good law, that it was bad and it should be done away with. And yes, they then enacted that they're doing away with it. They then told the whole world to say, look at how democratic we are, how we are bringing about a change in terms of our democratic space. We've done away with this cruel and bad law. Now, Secretary General Nakachinda has been convicted under that same law. And they're saying, no, it's because he committed it before we had repealed the law. My question to them is, if you felt so strongly, you argued so eloquently, you boasted to the international world that you've done away with this cruel law, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and give Secretary General Nakachinda a pardon? Otherwise, all your claims of saying this is a cruel law and you don't believe in it will mean nothing.
That's right.
The reason why you have the power to pardon is so that if there is some cruelty, and you've already identified that conviction under this law is cruelty, you give a pardon. So we're waiting to see whether or not you really meant it, or whether you were just doing that to try to impress the outside world. That is what I would have to say. I'm not sure whether President, Your Excellency, President Lungu, you want to add anything to that? So that is the position of Uka on that. The next question was obvious Mwali Teta describing us as jokers. No, it seems he's the one cracking the jokes, because even just mentioning what he said makes people laugh. You know, and
That's it.
yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, that's.
But I would only add that it's obvious.
It's obvious.
That's why he's not even in his cabinet. Because I'm sure even his paymaster knows that is a big joke.
The next question was with regards to what was stated during the meeting between Socialist Party Secretary General, is it, and the ECZ. I'll ask President Slavwe to answer on that question.
Thank you very much. Firstly, we will not delve into the details of that meeting because we know that not yet the Socialist Party are not members of the United Kwacha Alliance. But we've got issues with the Electoral Commission of Zambia as the United Kwacha Alliance, arising from the by-elections. The same ECZ, first arising from the appointment of the commissioners of the ECZ. These are non-UPND members and supporters. Regalia member, card-carrying member of the UPND. And so for us as the United Kwacha Alliance, we want to make it very clear that we do not have confidence in the current composition of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. We do not have, none at all.
Absolutely.
This is the same ECZ that has given a technical knockout to our alliance member, the Patriotic Front. And if today, former Republican president, 6th Republican president of this country, signs an adoption certificate with this Secretary General, Honorable Raphael Nakachinda, the ECZ will not be able to recognize it. The ECZ themselves have become the judges, the arresting officer, the prosecutor, and the judge at the same time. And their role is just to conduct elections. But they've gone a step beyond. That behavior can only come from compromised office bearers. And we feel the current ECZ is greatly compromised. We even feel that they do not have the capacity to preside over the 2026 general elections, looking at their current conduct of the affairs of elections. And so, we want to urge the appointing authority that perhaps if he has got any ounce of morality and leadership, he should recall those party members back to UPND so they can be able to contest as members of parliament and councillors, or perhaps challenge him and appoint real technocrats that can be able to have the confidence of the stakeholders. There's been repeated electoral violence in the by-elections. What has the ECZ done? Nothing. The members of parliament from the UPND going to support candidates in the by-elections are going with sacks of money, camping on polling day at specific points, giving our people 50 kwachas and 100 kwachas. What has the ECZ done? Nothing. The same ECZ, we have given them reports where people are paid to hide themselves on polling day or nomination day by the same UPND, where a person is paid, if you don't know what is happening, a person is paid to run away from your own political party. These reports have been made. What has the ECZ done about those things? Nothing. There have been abductions. You saw what happened to the Socialist Party driver, abducted and made to renounce SP and say they've joined the UPND. If we had an ECZ with a backbone that has the interest of the Zambian people and the nation, by this time they would have nullified half of those by-elections. How can you even celebrate the victory of winning by-elections when your biggest contender is not even on the ballot and you're busy congratulating themselves? And this is why I said in my remarks that the UPND lives in a bubble. They live in a make-believe world, a world that does not exist, but they want to force it on the Zambian people. They're destroying the Electoral Commission of Zambia, but they're telling you all is well. People are starving, they're telling you all is well. They abrogate the law on the sale of KCM, they tell you all is well. We know what we are doing. And yet the law is very clear. And I want to say this to the ECZ. They are trading on dangerous grounds. Because if you look at Africa, the number one source of conflict on the African continent is how you handle or not handle elections. Because elections represents the democracy of any nation. For people to choose leaders whom they feel can represent them. And as for us in the United Kwacha Alliance, we feel that the ECZ are standing in the way. Thank you, Chair. I yield back.
I would like to add to what President Slavwe has stated with regards to the chair of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. As stated by my colleague, she is a cadre. There's no doubt about that. You have also other cadres in there, but I'll concentrate on her, seeing that she's the head of ECZ. I know she's a cadre because I have personally interacted with her. We have talked politics with her. I've got first-hand knowledge she is a cadre. She cannot deny that. You know? We have a personal relationship. The other reason that I think that she is disqualified is because we talk of the Electoral Commission as being the Independent Electoral Commission of Zambia.
That's right.
That means that those who are running it must be independent of the various players. She is not independent. She is not independent because she has actually been sent on political errands on behalf of President Hakainde. I'm sure you're asking which political errands has she been sent on. I'll give you an example of one. You remember when the Barotsi issue arose and when President Hakainde messed up that issue so much. In order to try to salvage his position, he started sending various people to go and try to put his case across to the Litunga and the Barotsi royal establishment. Amongst those that he flew in, he actually flew her into Mungu, was Electoral Commission of Zambia chairperson Mwangala Zalumis. She accepted to run a political errand on behalf of President Hakainde. That clearly shows that she is not independent. If she's willing to run political errands for him, what about the biggest political errand that he will be requesting? That is with regards to the 2026 elections. She will run that errand for him as well.
And very nicely.
And very nicely. Just that one fact disqualifies her. She should step aside in order to make sure that she feels ingratiated to him. He goes further and even goes and awards her the honor and dignity of being state counsel. Let me leave it there.
Okay, fine. The last set of questions, I only have one hand here. You want to have a second bite on the chair? Just hold on. Ask your question, then you can do the follow-up, and you will be the last one to ask the question.
Yes, I want a contribution. I'm Joseph Chimba from the graphic media. I want first to talk about what happened in Kabwe. That was unacceptable, and we're not going to allow that as Zambians. For whatever happens there is unacceptable, because you know we are in a country where we need to respect the former president, and we continue respecting him as the father of the nation, and we continue to be the father of the nation. We need to continue respecting him, and he's supposed to be respected. I want to advise you, the leaders of Uka. We thank God that God is opening up your eyes and your minds. But when God is opening up your minds and your eyes, you should know that your eyes and your ears are being opened to defend the poor Zambians outside there. In the world we are living in, we have got a future to talk about and the past to talk about. In the past, we have seen Judas Iscariot
People were helped by the former president, living good life. They have come to turn against him. You people have joined Uka. Be an example for the poor people outside there. If you know you have got the heart of a Judas Iscariot to make money, to go out of Uka so that you can make a name, I think the Zambian people, they turn against you. I want to give an example on our president, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu. The way he has reduced himself so that he can work with you for the benefit of the poor Zambian outside there. Why can't we allow our hearts to be humble like him, so that at the end of the time we can build this country where our brothers and sisters are living in poverty? I know it is very difficult to understand when people are talking about poverty, because some of Judas Iscariot, they don't understand when the people in the Shanty compound, people in the Shanty compound they are living in. People are living in poverty. And now I want to advise, I want to announce here, if you, the Uka leaders, you are not going to challenge Akainde Echirema, we are going to organize people. We are going to fight you so that you can fight for their rights.
Why not fight indirect?
I'm speaking like that because we are feeling it. People are complaining outside there, and the only hope they have is Uka. And in Uka, we don't want to see the Judas Iscariot again, where you think like, I went there like a spy. We are not interested. Let us put the interest of the country to fight for Mother Zambia so that we can save young and the future generation. Mr. President, Mr. Edgar Lungu, I say, God may bless you, protect you, give you more wisdom. God is with you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And if there is anybody, it is not all of us who are cowards. President Akainde Hichilema is not a lion. He's not going to mistreat you when we are still alive. Zambian people are going to protect you. They will rise so that President Akainde Hichilema understand that you are a man who works for the Zambian people. Unga was 120, today 400. What nonsense is that? Why should we continue fearing people destroying this country? Few was at 17 kwacha, today 35 kwacha. Zambian people are watching. President former Edgar Lungu, a man. If the people outside there are pretending, me I'm standing here in front of the angels, that you are a man. God to protect you and give you more wisdom.
Thank you. Yes, the last question.
We've added another name, Pastor Chishim.
Thank you. A number of you have got a lot of cases behind the courts.
You know what you do? Start again and speak up.
So my name is Karunga Mwape from Millennium Radio. I want to ask about the confidence in the judiciary in terms of interpretation of certain cases, and other things. How is your confidence in terms of how the judiciary is proclaiming itself to the public, looking at what has been transpiring? I know head of state has got a number. June 1, we expect the Constitutional Court to talk about how are you going to be on the ballot, maybe let's say come 2026 if the people decide to say we're going to be part of it. Your confidence in the judiciary as a fan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Are those the only two questions?
One was a contribution.
One was a contribution. Joseph, thank you for the encouragement. And there was a question from Joseph as to, he said, why can't you be humble like President ECL? I think that if you look at the set of people we have here, we are all humble people. We are all humble, and that is the reason why we are going to be able to work and make this a success.
That's right.
Each one of us has declared that we are willing to serve under any one of us who may be chosen to be the lead of the United Kwacha Alliance. Each one of us have humbled ourselves and said, whoever is chosen will be campaigned for by all of us. And that is a very important point, and it's something that we have taken. You've said that people are complaining that the only hope is Uka. And I wish to let you know that it is not only the ordinary people out there. We have had delegations of chiefs. I won't tell you the names of the chiefs or where they come from. but take it from us, we've had chiefs who have come, sat us down, and said the exact words that you have said,
Marketeers as well.
that we are the only hope that they see. They also warned us, not as violently as you did, but they warned us. They said, if any one of you, whom we are seeing now, will come to our chiefdoms
And leave Uka.
and leave Uka,
We'll chase you.
we will first of all say, where are your friends? And when you say, I've left Uka, we will chase you. And that is what they have told us. So that we have in mind. We have had marketeers. We've had youths. We've had students who have come to see us. And they're all saying the same thing, that the Uka is the only hope that they can see. And us of Uka will not let you down. We'll make sure that you realize your hopes. We'll make them a reality. The last part that I want to comment on what Joseph was saying, he was saying that God is with you, Your Excellency. And we want to strengthen that even further for all of us. So that is the reason why tomorrow we are going to church. We've been graciously invited by Apostle Pule so that we can get that strength from the Lord. In fact, perhaps at this stage, I'll ask Apostle to let you know why the program is like and so forth, and the timing and all.
No, that may be on to
I can stand.
Okay.
It's my pleasure to confirm the fact that tomorrow we shall have a special Sunday service at Dunamis Miracles Church or Dunamis Christian Center in mass media. I'm the presiding apostle. My colleagues, including my senior colleague, the former president, will be there to worship with us. We shall be praying for the nation. We are inviting you, Zambians. We are inviting our political leaders, actually even from the UPND, to come and join us tomorrow as we pray for the nation. The service is starting at 10 hours promptly. And we encourage you to come early. So this is an open invitation. We will preach the word of God, then we'll spend time to pray and call upon the name of the Lord for the protection of the nation, for the protection of the leaders of our nation, the political leaders, civic leaders. We are going to pray for peace to continue and for the nation to prosper, besides other prayer points. So you are very much welcome tomorrow at Dunamis, mass media. I think I'll send the location just in case some people don't know. You can communicate, publicize that. Please help us to publicize the service. It's a special day as we shall pray for the nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we all said amen.
Amen. The judiciary.
Kalunga Mwape asked about the judiciary and whether we have confidence in the judiciary and whether we will be on the ballot paper. When you go to court, it is not only the litigants who are on trial. The judiciary as well is on trial in every single case. And the judiciary should take note that they are on trial as they preside over the various cases. The general public is looking as to how they will conduct themselves. The general public will be looking to see whether they are giving consistent answers, consistent judgments as they have done before. The general public will be seeing whether or not they abide by their own previous rulings. The general public expects that they will not be looking at individuals by name, but that truly justice is blind, and that it is the set law, the set cases, the precedents that they will follow. If they fail to do this, then the general public will convict them. The general public will write them off as not being fair to the Zambian people. So the challenge really is on the judiciary. The challenge is that you are being looked at. The challenge is that you must put in place judgments which, when anybody comes in, whether it's 10 years from now, will look at the judgments you have made and then say, this here was a good judge. I wish I was there at that time. This one needs to be promoted, can be promoted, and so on. Not that when in the future people come in, they start asking, how could they make such a judgment? How could they ignore what they have said before? So that is what the judiciary must do. Will we be on the ballot? Yes, we are. We will be on the ballot.
Of course we will.
We are going to be on the ballot in every single ward, in every single mayoral contest, in every single council chairmanship election, in every parliamentary election, and in the presidential election. And we are going to win the large majority of those.
Yes.
That is a promise.
Thank you very much, Chair. At this point, I'll ask President Musoma to give us a short closing prayer, then we sing the last two stanzas of the national anthem, and we close.
Thank you very much, SG. You know, I don't take long, me always stick to time. But may I just beg for 1 minute? Just to